Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing: single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special show with my friend Barry Briniger of RD1 Spirits, where we're going to be talking about cybersecurity on social media for bourbon fans. My name is Steve Akeley. I'm joined by my friend Barry. Barry, what's going on, man?
Hey, Steve, man, it's always a pleasure to get to chat with you. You know, we're going to drink virtually here, but man, next time we get together, I have a special pour to share with you.
I can't wait. What I love about what you do, Barry, is you're just a bourbon fan. I mean, you're an owner of a company, but you don't just stick to that lane. If you find a good deal or you've been hunting for something, you post that out on social media. You get excited about it just like anybody else would who's a bourbon fan, right?
100%. Yeah. Rising tide raises all ships, but man, the bourbon world, I love to find unique bottles, but then share those,
Yeah.
And I think we're both good friends with Freddie Johnson.
Yep.
Freddie brings out his very best for his best friends. And so it's always good to be a friend of Freddie's.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That works out well for many different ways. Not only is he just a great guy, he's inspiring. Anytime I hear him talk, there's many times I've been crying in the audience because he's just that good of a speaker. I mean, he's powerful.
Yeah.
And really does a great job. And we're talking about this issue of, security and people trying to rip you off. And that seems to be more of that going on than ever out there in social media right now. And just want to, share some stuff to hopefully make everybody just a little bit more aware of what's going on. But we'll get to that after the break. For right now, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into your company as well. So just on the first thing, just about yourself as a person, Barry, tell us about you.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. So I'm a native of Lexington, Kentucky, born and raised right here. I love Kentucky, and all things horse racing. I love the thoroughbred industry, and I actually got into bourbon a little late in life, and was a digital market. I owned a digital marketing company, and I started following this little club around called the Lexington Bourbon Society, and just absolutely fell in love with the industry. And so I would go on these meetings with business owners, and I'd talk about 10 minutes about how important digital marketing is for their business, and then I'm talking the next 50 minutes about bourbon. So
right.
I finally talked to enough of them. They're like, Barry, you just need to get involved with a bourbon brand, and met the right people. We formed a company. We're the co-founders, and very quickly understood that it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and it takes a heck of a lot of money to do what we're doing.
Right, absolutely. And the company itself, RD1 Spirits. So, and I think more and more people are getting to know that brand because you continue to expand distribution and things like that. But if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about the company.
Yeah, so RD1 Spirits was established in January 2020, right before COVID, to help to pay honor and respect to Lexington's first registered distillery, RD1, that was formed back in 1865. So it was the first that inspired us. And so what we're doing is, not only helping to tell the story of Lexington's first, we're not resurrecting it because we're not in the the same location. We don't have a mash bill, but we're doing things from an entrepreneurial spirit, very similar to Lexington's first registered distillery. So what we've done, we've come out with initially we came out with a commingling of a bourbon and a rye. It's trademark, Burr Rye's trademark, but essentially a Burr Rye. Right. And so we came out with that product. And then what we wanted to do is we wanted to put our flag in the ground of RD1 Spirits. And so what we've done is we've come out with a Kentucky straight bourbon. And now we're looking at what more can wood do to have an influence on Kentucky straight bourbon, because we know that 50 to 70% of bourbon's flavor comes from that wood. We're just changing the percentage. And so we're doing things that we're casting a wide net for that consumer, that growing consumption consumer that's in that 21 to 35 age demographic. And then guys like you and me, we're, right. Us old guys, we love innovation. We love looking at, my goodness, what are these companies do? Are they putting out a great product? Are they putting out a product that we can lean into? And I think that we're kind of getting our niche. And right now we're in 12 markets. We anticipate being into maybe 14 markets by the end of the year. Next year, it could be anywhere from 25 to 35 markets. And fortunately, the majority shareholders have a lot of ability, from a financial standpoint, from being able to get and retain top talent to do that, to take our brand out national. So right. We're super excited. We're not looking to grow this brand to exit. We're looking to grow this brand and have fun with it and, lean into the bourbon world.
Yeah, very, very cool. Now, one thing that I want to be clear with your organization, it's a big company. So the exposure people might have, and again, for many consumers going to the place where you guys currently are at now in Lexington, to them, I visited a distillery, and if that's your experience and that's what you think you visited the distillery, that's actually a pretty small operation. It's a tasting room, so it's an opportunity to taste some of your products, shop for merchandise, that type of thing. But in reality, I just want to be clear that this is a pretty this is going to be a very impactful brand in very short order here. So tell us a little bit about the distillery itself and the size and scope, how many barrels you've got, those type of things that helps us establish that you're just not a small startup.
Yeah, we've contract distilled. So the distillate that's coming out now, we were fortunate to get some aged barrels because you can't come out in 2020 and have a 4 or 5 year aged product and not be able to get those barrels. Right. And then we're laying down new make. And so we're laying down that same mash bill. You're going to see in 2024 a significant amount of barrel pick opportunities from RD1 because we're taking that barrel pick experience out to the nation. And so we can ship samples to you. You can come into our brand destination, but we're building in Lexington, Kentucky from the ground up what we like to call our research still. And it's an 800-gallon hybrid still, probably produced under a barrel a day, but it's going to allow us to lean into some of the research things of mash bills and maturation, and then be able to then produce that on a larger scale. So we're committed at this point in time to having a Kentucky whiskey product, Kentucky bourbon whiskey product, and we're just having a lot of fun. The other thing, though, is that in order to be in 10, 12, 25, 35 markets, you got to have the liquid to back that up. You've got to have a liquid strategy. And so fortunately, there's some shareholders, myself included, with the Whiskey Council. We've got investments in a significant tens of thousands of barrels.
Tens of thousands, folks.
Yeah. So we're continuing to bring in what we think are really good mash bills, really good products, and innovate in the wood finishing series, and then the commingling. I'm trying not to say blending because it triggers their mind that in America blending is a negative connotation. It is not a negative connotation. connotation. But unfortunately, we've got the history of rectifiers, and we've got the history of utilizing neutral grain spirits into blending. That's not what we're doing. We're kind of doing it the Scotch way. So we're bringing in different mash bills and getting a flavor profile that we believe is going to be a profile that consumers are going to like. Maybe Kentucky might or might not like it as much as the Northeast or the West, but we're looking at that national market and what those consumers like. So we have a lot of options, and we're really excited about what that future looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Barry, before we get into the topic of the day, let's have a little drink. What do you got over there? What are you drinking?
So what I've got here is the King Ranch. I was just recently in Texas. You might have seen my social media. I was in Dallas, and like you said, I'm a consumer, so I go in there with my regional sales director, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, they've got the King Ranch. I said, this is one, and he's like, yeah, I know, it's around here. It's only around Texas, and I'm like, I'm buying. So I bought a couple of bottles, brought it back with me, and then I posted it online. And like you said, I love making someone's day. So I had people reach out to say, hey, can I get a bottle of that? I bought another case of this. Just
Nice.
Yeah, just so that I can, have my, utilize friends that's never tried this, give them a bottle at my cost. I'm not doing the thing that a lot of other people are. And I might trade a bottle for a bottle, but I'm not jacking the price up to make a margin. It's illegal for me to sell. I hold a supplier license. It's illegal for me to sell someone bourbon.
Yeah.
This is a gift.
Creating good karma for bourbon fans. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So King Ranch, it's 105 proof. And it is aged in mesquite wood, so has a really unique flavor, wood finish flavor for that Oak Forester profile.
All right. Now, before we have you do the cork pop, just a personal story here. King Ranch. So my grandmother, her brother married a member of the family that runs King Ranch. But once you get out of the ranch, they cash you out, and unless you're working part in the family, you're not out of the family, but you're out of the family business. So and they lived in Arizona. They were both professors at Arizona, college professors, and they lived their whole life there. But I feel like I want to be into the King Ranch family. I want to be into the family. I want to go back to them and say, and I guess I'm not really anything, because it's, again, my grandmother, it was her brother, I'm kind of nothing, but I feel like I'm close enough. I should be able to get back in. Don't you?
Right.
Don't the King Ranch one.
Don't cash me out. I want my chips back in.
You're right. Yes.
Well, and it's funny you said that, because I was on that tasting event online where we brought the Dusty, the barrel from the 70s, and then a present day King Ranch. Loved it. I loved it so much. I had some samples left over, and Lisa Wicker, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, everybody knows Lisa. She's an industry icon. I reached out to her and I'm like, Lisa, I've got a couple samples I want you to sample. And we're all friends here in Kentucky. And so I met with her. She was able to pick out the Dusty King Ranch and really loved it. Had some good feedback for me. So I absolutely love sharing these unique pours with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's hear the cork pop on there. Let's hear.
Okay, here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Okay. All right. That was disappointing. It could have been better, Barry, but yeah.
That was
it was not a fresh bottle. A fresh bottle usually gets you a better one. So I've got Weller Full Proof. This is from Select Six Group, Northern Kentucky based group, and let's see what we got here. Here we go. Oh, Barry, I'm going to award you the victory there. Mine was bad, and yours wasn't great either. But as a guest, I'm going to say you won. So there you go, Barry.
Thank you. I got a participation journey. Cheers.
Yes. Cheers. All right, we'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about this topic of cybersecurity on social media. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at neelyfamilydistillery.com.
I'm McNew. Don't mix your grain and grapes. Not a good time. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Steve Akeley and Barry Brinegar of RD1 Spirits. We're talking today about, security on social media. And it seems here recently, Barry, they're really targeting the bourbon fans, aren't they?
They really are, not just the bourbon fans. I mean, they're really savvy. And if you know anything about fishing expeditions and cybersecurity, they're getting really crafty. And so you have to be on your game. And so that was the reason I reached out to you. And I'm like, hey, man, we got to talk about this, because I've had a couple of experiences here over the last year and a half that I want to bring to light. And I think that this is the right platform to do that.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about some of the incidents that you were, because I literally spend, and of course, recently someone said, hey, here's how you can help this. But I'll do a post, and I own a bottle shop, and of course we post, marketing is we post the bottles and we say the price. It doesn't matter if I go to a distillery and I know I'm the only one who's getting that, they'll post, I've got some of these bottles for sale, and try to people who express any sort of interest, and it's maybe not people, it's bots, I don't know what it is, but they target these individuals, and I know that they're lying because we're literally the only ones who have these particular bottles. So tell us a little bit about what you've experienced.
Well, there's two examples here, and the one you just gave, like, I'll get someone that will post on my profile or post on a post that I posted from a year ago, and then I'll see this notification of someone who tagged me, and so they will tag me and say, hey, if you're interested in that bottle, I've got it for sale. Go to this link and you can order one, and we'll ship it to you. So that's one example of. It's not true, because we're the only ones that have those bottles, or we weren't even selling bottles. Yeah. And so typically what I do is I just block those people, and then that post goes away off of my profile. But now what they're doing, and what they've been doing, is they are stealing your photos on Facebook. And they are using those to set up a fake profile. So they're not setting up a Barry Brinegar profile. They're setting up I'm going to use this name, Mike Fusler. Mike Fusler has set up a fake profile that looks, they say imitation's the greatest form of flattery, but this guy has stolen those photos, and then he creates this profile that I must live an exciting life, because he's posting word for word what I'm doing. And then I've had people reach out to me to say, hey, Barry, someone's using your profile. Let's report it. So I report it to Facebook, and it doesn't go against community standards, because they're not. Well, because they're not using Barry Brenniger. They're using Mike Fusler. They're using a different name. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Those are my photos. And so what Facebook has told me is you got to go report each one of those photos. So I do that with no action. There's been nothing from Facebook that says, all right, we're taking that image down because it does belong to you. I think there's a way to go into your profile to limit the geo tag of the photos. And there may even be, I don't know how to do this yet, but there may even be a way that someone can't get those photos. But if you restrict your profile to a friends only, then those photos are not broadly seen by anyone other than your friends. So that's probably ultimately what needs to happen. But
it's a challenge for people like you and myself. We're public figures because we have businesses that we want to expose people to what we're doing, right?
We're marketing. We're marketing. Right. And selling. So, and we're legally marketing and selling.
Correct.
So it's a frustrating issue. And this Mike Fusler just recently sent something to another person who then, because it was an image of me with TJ McGibbon, who was the very first Kentucky Distillers Association president, and I had it on a barrelhead, and I was gifting it to Eric Gregory, who is the current KDA president, and they saw that apparently they had an interaction with this guy, and they sent an email with that screenshot to the KDA. I get this email from the KDA saying, check out, this looks like Barry Brenniger, check out with him. And I'm like, yep, that's me. This guy has been imitating my life, my profile. I've reported it, but it doesn't go against community standards. The best thing I can tell you to do from that guy's perspective is report the profile, report the photos. That's all that we can do at this point.
Yeah, that's really sad to think about that. That should just be stopped. I mean, I don't, stolen identity basically is what it is. If they're utilizing your post, your photos, I don't know. That's not, and they're not using it for good purposes. It's not a parody or any. I could see if it falls under. Sometimes celebrities are subject to those things where it's parody accounts and all that. But this is different. I mean, they're using it to try to rip people off, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, and here's another thing, Steve. And I know that you get this, and I know a lot of people do. Is if an offer is too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Right.
The problem is we don't think logically. When we're presented with, oh my gosh, that's a unicorn bottle, I don't sometimes use my brain to say, let me step back. Let me think about what the offer is. Is it too good to be true? You're not just going to be gifted $100 million. You're not going to be able to get a Pappy 23 at below SRP. It just isn't going to happen. The problem is the brain thrives on that excitement, that dopamine. And so you lose all objectivity. So I think that the people that are getting these messages need to understand, take a step back, think about this logically, but you don't. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to get that bottle I've always been coveting and I want for my collection. I want to open it and share with friends. You just lose that objectivity.
Yeah. You do see these sort of conversations in all the bourbon groups. We're in a lot of bourbon groups. And you'll see someone either say, is this a real deal or not? And clearly it's not. So that's the thing. Or you see the even sadder ones, people who got ripped off. They're, just reporting it to the group saying, hey, I bought this. I didn't get it. And again, that meter should have gone off and said, this is too good to be true, but it didn't with this person. And then they've paid for what they think is a good deal on a bottle and they got nothing out of it. They just, and good luck tracking the person down there. It ends up being, the money's just gone. So, yeah.
It's just gone.
Yeah. So what do you think are the best things that you can do to protect yourself, Barry?
Well, I would say number one, lock down your profile, make sure that it's only visible to friends and family. If you and I were kind of in a catch-22, I need to keep mine public. But, the other thing is I've had people reach out to me and do screenshots of this guy that has my photos and say, hey, is this real? Which is great. They did that before they went and bought something from this person, but not everyone knows me, they go into this and unfortunately it's on the back end that they do the research after they've been stolen from. So I think that, limit how many people can see your profile, and then, maybe have a trusted source that you're like, hey, I want to run this by you. Here's an opportunity for me to buy a bottle, and then let someone else help you recognize that no, that's you're going to lose your money. You're just giving your money away by engaging with these people. And again, the rule of thumb is if it's too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Don't do it.
Right.
And then the legal piece. It's illegal for you to buy on Facebook. That's why we have these elaborate opportunities of doing this so that you don't trigger the algorithms. The fact is that alcohol is a regulated substance. It's in the 3-tier system. The government's going to get their money, and if they don't get their tax revenue, they're going to crack down on it. And so just stick with the ABV barrel shop. Get your bottles, your
Right.
barrel picks through them. Get it through a trusted source. If you're in a state that allows reciprocal shipping, then just order from the supplier. Order it from someone who can legally ship those. Sealbach. Any of these online distributors. Right. Order from them. Pay what you're going to pay. You're gonna pay close to secondary with some of these online shops, but you're not going to get ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just bourbon's too popular. There's no deals in here. There's no, hey, this MSRP $300 pappy that routinely sells for $5,000 or $8,000. You're not going to find it for $250. We're trying to blow this out. It doesn't happen. It never will happen. No. So yeah, it's just hopefully this creates some awareness, just a reminder, and that's all you can do is try to remind folks, and that's what we're trying to do today. Just throw this out there, and hopefully just think about things before you get that credit card out, right?
Exactly. And then just enjoy your local groups. I love it because I love the bourbon groups. And when going to Texas, when going to Florida, those are our people. I know that you do a lot of traveling.
Yep.
It's these bourbon aficionados and bourbon curious folks that I love being in touch with because they want to hear about America's native spirit. They want to talk about it, and that's how we create that community. Right. Online's great. We utilize online, but doing something in person is so much more rewarding because we have those memory moments. We have those opportunities to engage with folks with utilizing a spirit that we all know and love, and some of us want to learn more about it.
Yeah. You bring up a good point, and that's probably the final way that I would say to protect yourself is get involved in a local group, create one, a club that's existing, and the bottle shares. That's the way to go, because why people are hunting this stuff out of barriers because they can't get it. And then they really, really want something they can't get, so they end up doing these crazy things that if you took a step back and thought about it, you knew it wouldn't happen, but they were just hoping for the best so they could get it. But if you create a club and you share, and you're bringing good things to the club, and everyone's bringing good things, ultimately you kind of get to try everything. And that's what I found being involved in a bourbon club is if you're bringing good things, you're not bringing just the shelfie, the everyday item that you can find, but you're bringing things that you've hunted for and found, and everyone's kind of doing the same thing. Ultimately, you can kind of try everything because that network will ultimately probably grab onto all the hot things overall. So yeah. That's a great way.
Steve, that's probably the best point of all is that people are craving that experience. And so it's those bourbon groups that give that. And just like you said, we had the Lexington Bourbon Society had a moment where we went up to Louisville yesterday to Flame Run Glass Blowing Center. You can make your own Glencairn.
Yeah.
And I've done, my wife and I, we probably have $200. No. $500 in these Glencairns that we've made, and we take these to these bottle shares. And so this is a group of 12 of us that went to Flame Run, and then we were taught we brought bottles there, so we're sharing pours while we're blowing our own glass and giving instructions for them to make the Glencairn. And then we left there and we went to it's called Mussels and Burger Bar right downtown Louisville. Absolutely the best mussels and bourbon and burger. And so we were able to then talk about, who's got the latest Daniel Weller,
right.
who's got those hard to find bottles. And then we're creating another bottle share just off of that one event. So you're exactly right. That's the best thing because we're looking for the experience. And that's the part of it. The bourbon clubs, you're 100% great suggestion.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. On that note, we're going to wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Barry, anything you'd like to share? And this is personal stuff. It's RD1. Whatever you want to share that'll help you promote what you're doing, that would be great.
Well, I always love to talk about RD1 Spirits. We're super excited here in Lexington, Kentucky, of having people come. We're on the Bourbon Trail. the Bourbon Trail, if I could just really quickly,
Sure.
is morphing. In 2024, the Bourbon Trail is going to more of that napification experience. So if you're a brand and with us, we do have a distillery now. We do have the ability to come see mash, ferment, and distilling, but more people, they get that on the Bourbon Trail. It's that experience piece. So it's that napification of combining bourbon with experiences, with food experiences and overnight experiences. So you're going to see in 2024 this evolution, this continuing build of the Bourbon Trail. Lexington is now a gateway sponsor. So just like the Beeline in Northern Kentucky, the Bardstown Bourbon Trail, we're going to have our own experience like that on the KDA's website. So super fun stuff happening to Lexington and RD1 Spirits and all the local brands. You can find me, Barry Brenniger. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram, BrenB1. And you can find me on rd1spirits.com as part of the folks, the team that was working behind the scenes with our company.
Very cool. For me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got that company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. That's when you got to check out. Everything that we do is out there. We have all our previous shows. Say you want to search the Bourbon Show where Barry was on there, going into full detail of RD1 Spirits. We got it out there. He's been on that show a couple times. So check us out online, abvnetwork.com, and come by and see us. The ABV Barrel Shop, the place where you can try before you buy. We have 45 barrel picks in the store right now. You can taste every single one of those, not in one sitting, but get to know us. Come back by, and the ones you like, you can pick up, and that's what it's all about. We're bringing a lot of new things into the market. Of course, if you like what we're doing, give us a 5-star review with comments. It helps new people find the show. That's pretty important to us. And finally, if you want to get involved at patreon.com/the ABV Network, that would really get you involved behind the scenes in the show. We appreciate your time today, Barry. This was great stuff.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you.
For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya. Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening, and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.